I have a question for you, PC people. Not in terms of like lifespan, like it dies, but just in terms of usability and how much the market and the industry upgrades.
Yeah.
What's the, if not lifespan, the usage time or the rollover time on like a graphics card? Like how often you need to upgrade that?
I mean, if you want to just play the games and you don't care about like the FPS being 60, you probably have a nice 5 years on the card.
Okay, I would say like let's say you want best of the best. You're a streamer that wants to not play in a hot tub. I want, and you need to compete with that. You know, it's like again, you want the best of the best. Like this is the top highest grade. Again, like 5 years, 5 years,
like every other year.
Maybe 3 years. I would say 3. If you have a really solid, like the thing is that like obviously when the games come out, the graphics change. Like it completely changes the whole scope of because these cards are made around games, at least in my mind. I don't work in that industry, but just from me outside looking in, the graphics are made around the games. So if you want the best of the best, like if you get an RTX 390 right now, you can probably get top of the line graphics for at least 3 years, like in my mind. But then that also has to do with RAM too. You're probably going to be upgrading the RAM as you're doing that. So probably 3 years.
What's the average? Okay, now so let's say 3 years, top to top. What's the price range on these top of the top line graphics cards?
Thousands of dollars.
See,
Yeah.
not so much to this tech deck. I just can't not call it a tech deck.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 90s. Sorry.
And I know they're probably going to kill us in the comments if we do get comments on the YouTube channel. We're probably completely wrong, but this is just our brains.
Wait, but thousands of dollars for one graphics card? That don't sound right.
RTX 390, it's like $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, the RTX 360 is like maybe $800, but these RTX graphic cards are fucking expensive.
So the reason I asked that is because to a point that the graphics card thing, from the outside looking in as a console guy, that's what's kept me away from the PC world. Is like the thought of like every few years I need to switch graphics card when I can get a console that'll last me, you know, like arguably 6, 7, 8 years, depending on, you know, the next gen timing. But, you know, like you said, like the one
consistently.
Yeah, it plays consistently. You know, like the thought of like buying a thing and then having to lower the settings to play the thing I buy doesn't. I know it's gonna piss off a lot of PC people, like, but that concept, like as a console guy, makes no sense to me. Is like, again, to me, is like, again, especially for money. It's like, hey, every X years I'm gonna spend a couple grand. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how about every 7 years I just spend 500?
Yeah, I mean I think my argument has always been like, it depends on what you want when you're getting a graphics card. Like if you just want to play the games and you want to be able to play pretty much every game for the next 5 years, then you can get a graphics card that isn't super expensive, or you can get one that is expensive and just stretch it out. If you want to get top of the line graphics every single time, that is when things get really expensive.
See, that's weird.
You know, and then speaking to your point as far as like a console, because I've had this argument with my brother too, or this conversation rather.
Yeah.
As far as like, okay, if I just want to play the games, why don't I buy a console? Because every game works on that console.
Yeah, and it's like,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about it.
In theory, because Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And because that's the other thing.
Funny.
That's the other thing too. Again, is like changing the settings. So it's like, oh, the thing I buy can quote unquote with an asterisk play this if I lower the settings. I'm like, that'd be so weird to me. It's like having like, you know, a next gen console, like buying it's a $70 game and like, oh, time to lower the settings. Like, well, if I have to lower the settings, why isn't my game cheaper?
So kind of to put it in a little bit of perspective, I had got my PC, I want to say probably like 2014, 2013 or some shit like that, and I got a GTX 960. I was playing with that one graphics card for like a good 6 years, but it was also because I wasn't trying to play like these like super big games at the highest graphics. I was if I was able to play Overwatch, I was cool. I was able to play Counter-Strike, I was cool. I was able to play Battlefield, I was cool. Like I didn't need it to be at like top graphics, but I mean obviously I didn't want it to be looking like a PlayStation 1 game, you know?
Right, exactly.
As long as I was getting consistent frame rates and the graphics looked good, I was happy.
Yeah. One of the funny jokes around PC gaming, I think Greg Miller, he said it on his Kind of Funny platform. He was like he's like kind of making fun of PC gamers. He's like, yeah, I got the top of the line PC. He's like, oh, what are you playing with it? Oh, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came out like 15 years ago.
Actually, it's funny you say that because Knights of the Republic, that was another upgrade game, or that was the game where a lot of our customers couldn't play it because they had to upgrade their shit.
Yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah, games change the tide, man. But yeah,
I got on my PC. I played legit like 1,100 hours of Counter-Strike, almost 2,000 hours of Smite. I'm like, I could have used a mediocre PC for those games.
Yeah.
But I also, there were games that updated the games that I wanted to play every once in a while.
Definitely.
And a lot of the games on my Steam library are like little party games, little MP games and stuff like that I was playing with friends. So like it wasn't anything I was like, oh, I need to play Crysis 4.
Yeah, because I have a GT, I think it's a GTX 1660 Super. So like I can play pretty much most of the games out, and then even like the games that are coming out. But like it's not going to be at the highest level. It'll be like maybe like mid, slightly high settings. Okay. But it's like there's, I mean, 2 years from now, yeah, I'm probably going to need another graphics card to play at like high settings. So,
well, I just got a Series X. So,
so what was the first game? What was the first game to you when you got that graphics card where you were like, I'm even going to try to download this one?
So selfishly, I'm going to use your question and make it a segue. Crysis was one of those big games back in the day when PC games where it was the turn of the tide. If you could play Crysis, you had a badass computer.